Hello Shiny Crafty People, it's Tim Totten here and welcome back to the channel. I'm on the east side of Madison, Wisconsin, and I thought I'd go into the Joann fabric store. It's April the 14th, so it's a few weeks into their closeout after they were bought by a closeout company that is now trying to liquidate everything for the company. So I'm going to go in and see what this deal looks like now.
And the first thing you notice are these signs that say up to 70% off, even though I didn't really notice anything 70% off, but let's go inside. Now that sign said new merchandise coming, and there was lots of new stuff that I've never seen before. There's 20% off of bakeware, which I think before with the coupon you'd get a better deal than that. And they brought in some stuff that I don't think has ever been there before. I was a little surprised to see so many storage items. And at the front of the store, a whole lot of toys, by the way. I didn't get any video of that. Now, back into their actual craft stuff, there was certainly paper on sale, but this single sheet of paper said 60% off, and then this sign for more single sheet paper says 30% off. So I'm not actually sure which price it is and how it knows. There were other things. Never really shopped at Joann's for all of this kind of home decorative items, although some people would say that might have helped lead to the fall down. But we do actually get to the fabrics where still mostly it seems like it's about 20% off, although some of them does get up to 60% off. And apparently they had tulle on sale for 60% off. And this store just happened to have a whole lot of yellow, or maybe they brought everything out of the warehouse to this one for yellow tulle. There was, of course, other fabrics still available. So there are some apparel fabrics available, and 50% off seems like a pretty good deal on that as you go through. 40% off even still feels like a pretty good deal, but the selection is a bit picked over. Of course, the Halloween fabric is also 50% off in there. If you wanted to make a cow costume, there's some good stuff there, obviously. There are a lot of other empty shelves, though, and it's surprising. This is actually the fleece section. Remember how Joann's always used to get overrun with fleece? Well, oh my goodness, they somehow sold a bunch of it. So I don't know if it's been on sale really good. There are still some fleece sections available and things that they've consolidated. It may just be this particular store, and other stores are still overrun with fleece. And also all of these fixtures are on sale as well. So if you're looking for something like this to store at home, you could definitely go to the store and go ahead and lay your hands on some. The quilting fabric is actually what I was interested to see. They do have that 2-yard minimum cut required still, and it's only 30% off. I was a little surprised by that fact because it strikes me that 30% off is really not a great deal, and yet a lot of the quilting fabric was actually gone. So it was sold out. I don't know what happened to the camera here, but we'll see where I go from here. Solids. They had solids in there, and it was, again, another 2-yard requirement and only 25% off. I thought that was a little bit odd that it's only down to 30 or 25% off for those fabrics. Home deck fabric was picked over, but there was definitely some home deck fabric still available, and this was up to 60% off. Although I think that home deck fabric in the past was usually about 40% off anyway. And then, of course, they have all the things that go with the home deck fabric as well. I really like Ott lights, and they have many of them still available. I did research this 3-in-1 piece, and it's actually more like $160 on Amazon, I think, but maybe I'm looking at the wrong one. Still, these are okay prices on Ott lights. Compared to what they used to charge, absolutely good. I don't know if the 50% off is actually accurate for these because they did have a different price on that other one, but there are some still available. Of course, all of the notions are only 25% off, which may or may not be a good deal, but it's obviously been a good deal for some people because there's a lot of it missing. It looks like they really brought in those tomato pin cushions because those look like more than they would normally stock in the store. Now, batting, they still had plenty of batting, and it may be because it's not on super duper sale yet. Although if you're looking for batting and you don't want to pay full price somewhere, and this is something that you want to get there, 30% off or more, and some pretty good deals. And they had lots and lots of pillows still available as well. So pillow forms on good sale. They had lots and lots of yarn. In fact, what I was surprised by the yarn is that some of it's picked over, obviously, but it also looks like they're bringing in boxes of yarn. So I don't know if that means that they've actually gone to some other place and gotten yarn on sale and brought it in to try to sell it and add to the closeout, or if this is yarn they already had. Now, all of the other craft stuff is very much picked over. I was surprised by that, although plenty of felt here. And really good deals on felt, actually. I think it was up to 80 or 90% off. But look at the shelves are really starting to get picked over like you would expect in a closeout situation. And I would not be surprised to see them start consolidating down things to just 1 or 2 small shelves in a section and closing off the rest of the area, kind of like they did at Big Lots in the last couple of months. And of course, you just see it completely. This whole craft section has just been more than decimated. Decimated only means 10% destroyed. This is way, way far more than that. I was also surprised by all of the little pieces and parts that are gone. And maybe more interestingly, I stumbled upon this section where something was scrawled, "Don't close, Joann's, we miss you." And then somebody also added in an interesting set of words. I'm going to highlight it here for you so you can see it. "Private equity killed Joann's."
Well, that was my trip to the wind blowing like crazy here in Madison. That's my trip on April 14th, 2025 to the Joann fabric store that's closing out here in Madison. I gotta tell you, I kind of making this video as much as a time capsule so that people can later on say, wow, what happened? The last thing I show in the video is something that a person here in Madison has scrawled on the onto the empty store fixture, and it's interesting. It's an interesting take on what happened to Joann Fabrics. I am going to go to a couple of the fabric stores while I'm up here and get a few ideas of what other options there are. And if you haven't seen yet my video, Hancock's of Paducah, I did stop in and get to go to Hancock's of Paducah to see an alternative. So anyway, it's a little bit of a sad story here, but they are closing out, so there are some better sales going on, although maybe not necessarily on fabric. Until next time, folks, maybe when we have a happier story, stay crafty. Bye for now.